I saw an interesting. I used to think Neil deGrasse Tyson was a bit of a pain, but I'm beginning to warm to him. And he said one very interesting thing the other day. Well, what I saw, and he says, even if, even if people from other planets or other star systems had been sending messages towards us, towards the Earth, we have only been able to receive them for about 100 years. Because Marconi, he invented the radio in the early 1900s, something like that. So we've only been able to receive messages. And in the depth of time, it's very, very small. As you can imagine, 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs were going, what the fuck was that? I'm sure someone was trying to talk to me. Was that a bad joke? Anyway, so I just thought I'd do an interesting, make a few videos about people who are conning you on the internet. And I'm sure a lot of the time it's men that are conning you, pretending to be a woman, using some woman's name and photos, you know. And I guess some people still do fall for it. When my sister was alive, she was living in Spain, you know, and someone was trying to con her, and she finally realized it. And of course, it must be in the back of people's minds that this is a con artist. The first simple thing is, if they ask for money, you know, the worst thing you can feel, you know, like if you want to drink a beer and you've got no money, and you ask someone and they turn you down, you never do it again. This is why I ask people if they want a drink or they want some food, because I know that pain of rejection, of wanting something and you haven't got it, and you can't get it. This is why I used to get really angry after like doing videos for 10 years, and then 1 or 2 times I just asked people to donate $1. They wouldn't even fucking donate $1. It just shows you. I think it's mentioned before that I knew this guy called Reed, and he was a very, very smart guy, and he was down on his luck, down in the dumps. And he was chatting to people in the parks. He was a very nice guy, you know. He's funny, he was attractive, and he was chatting to students or whatever. And he told me one day he just asked a girl for a 100 yen so he could buy a cup of coffee. She fucking rejected him. Absolute horror that he's asking me for 100 yen. Fucking 100 yen. This guy was earning, you know, 5, 6, 8 million yen a year. And it was me that pulled him out of the shit. Gave him a house to live in for 1 month. He lived in the front room. And it was funny because I used to take him out with me. Drive round, and they'd be like, fucking, and I see, like, for example, there was like a gas table outside this house. It was, Reed, go and get that. Fucking jumps out of the car. This is a guy that was earning 8 million a year. Jumps out of the car, quick as anything, grabs it, throws it in the truck, back in the truck. And like I say, it just shows you. He was good. I wonder what his air traffic controller would have said, because he used to. I think a lot of these people from middle class families, they don't know working class and they're scared of working class. They think there's something wrong with them. Oh, really? Why did you say that? Maybe I should go and check it out later. Well, that's well, if it's human activity, then it's probably not. It's not Iwama. I might treat myself. Go and get some. I've got some eggs. Maybe go and get some toast. I've got some. Make some egg on toast. But look, I just made a question mark. How much was your flight to Japan? Yeah, I want to go to Vietnam. Do they still have those round the world tickets? And what was that like? They have a cafe. They have cafes and shops here. In this in this town, they've got two Vietnamese shops and a Vietnamese restaurant. Can I ask you a question? If I'm waiting to get my order and he's put the order on the bar, and while he's getting the coffee or something, or getting the salt, sugar and cream for my coffee, he's talking to an employee, a workmate that has just come into the counter. So he's like talking over me or ignoring me, and while he's still dealing with me, he's talking to his workmate, explaining something about a job or the job they've got to go on. So is that rude, or is it just me? Shouldn't he finish serving me and then talk to the workmate? So what someone was saying, I forget who it was now. Maybe it was a celebrity. I'm not sure, or maybe it was just someone on like TikTok Shorts or something like that. And he says, and I noticed this after he said it, that once you get older, people just ignore you, as though you're not there. So there's, maybe you've heard this where if a person is doing well, so like a cafe owner or a bar owner, and they're in their bar, if you meet this person, they only want to talk to people that could like advance their life or advance their career. So while they're talking to you, they're looking all around at different people, seeing who they can talk to, seeing what interaction benefits them the most. So it's like this, it's another scale of this. And and someone was talking about Jared, what's his name? Ivanka Trump's husband. There was a documentary on him, but he wouldn't just do that. He'd say to someone, look, I've got someone to talk. I want to talk to someone else. I don't want to talk to you because this guy's more. He actually said this to that person. I've got to talk to this person because he's more important than you. Kushner, that's him. Yeah. Cruiser. It's not Tom Jones. It's a Jones. Someone's trying to, these people on the internet that try to con you on Facebook, and they make, how are you doing? And there's like certain parts of questions. What do you do? Are you married? Have you got kids? Just to find out. Just to find out what you are, what you're doing. And this woman, this con man or woman, and he was using the name Brittany Jones. And they'd only got like 3 photographs up and no friends to show. Okay. I mean, if you're on Facebook, at least you've got like your friends or your workmates or your brother, sister, husband, wife on there. Yeah, so you've got at least 2 or 3 people. This con person's got no friends to show. Because I guess if you've got no friends to show, then you can't contact the other friends. And so this person is using the name Brittany Jones. So what I did a search for Brittany Jones. And in this area where this person said they were from in Connecticut, there was a Brittany Jones, and she died. She was a nursing assistant, and she died at the same age as this con person. So she was using her name, her age, her occupation to like give her character some substance. And the horrible thing about this Brittany Jones is that she'd been shot by a black man, I'm guessing. This Brittany Jones was black, or half black. And she was shot, and also the officer, she called the police for help. This fucking piece of shit also shot the policeman. So he shot 2 people. This con person is using this woman's details to try to con me. And this Brittany Jones, she had 3 kids. But also, if you search Brittany Jones, there were like several Brittany Jones that had died, all young, terrible name to have. There were several Brittany Jones that had died quite young. And there's a famous Brittany, she was an actress and she died. For fuck's sake, don't name your kid Brittany. It seems to be a very unlucky name. He's been conned by them a few times. Oh dear, see, I don't want to be rude, but is your brother stupid? What kind of scams were they? Same as this, people getting in touch with him online? Is he lonely or something? You know, I think I've seen something on television where they interview people, and maybe like Russian brides or something like that, and they show that all his friends and family are telling him it's a con, and he still won't believe it. And he falls for it, does he? Well, this is why I'm making this video. I made the video, I put it up. Yeah, that's the usual thing, isn't it? Another. Well, it wasn't even a woman, probably. And see, the one thing that's a Google Chat, because on Google Chat you can send money. You know, I did think, you know, but there was some fucker on Instagram. He was trying to get me into buying bitcoins or something like that, or investing. And then as soon as I said, like, I know what you're fucking doing, you're a fucking con man, he got really angry. Then they, you know, the pieces of shit. I called one woman, I says, you fucking cunt. And she phoned me up. she phoned me up. Or he phoned me up. But I didn't answer it. I didn't answer it in any way. Yeah, I've heard of that one before, the you know, sending money to to get a visit. Baby. Okay, that sunlight was bothering me. I was once, a few years ago, I was talking to this, yeah, of course, yeah, especially the lonely. I think loneliness is a big thing. Yeah, but it works both ways as well, doesn't it? With especially, single women. There's a program on YouTube about it, single women going to places like Indonesia, Jamaica, and a young man, attractive young man gets into these women, and one of the most common things that they ask is, buy me a motorbike. Bitch. Yeah, there was one woman from Scotland, she was a very unattractive woman, and they just don't get it, do they? But even if you're a normal person, they have doubts about if you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Just in a normal setting in life, and you're thinking, this person's too good for me. Why is she going out with me? What does she see in me? People in a normal relationship have these doubts. But if you're very overweight and unattractive, and then a young man or a young woman is making, it's difficult to grasp. But like I said, the biggest identifier is when they ask you for money. And what is any results from that? Did you? Yeah, in Cuba, maybe it's a little different because they want to get out of Cuba, so that's understandable, and they don't fancy that swim. You know what your sister should have said to him? If you fucking swim from Cuba to America, I'll help you. Then I'm impressed. I know. I met I worked with this guy in Tokyo. He was a bit of a bad lad, to say the least, and he ended up in the Philippines. But in the Philippines, if you're associated with the poor or you live with the poor, you'll never get out of the Philippines because they've got no money. If you're in Japan, you can find people that'll pay like 5,000 yen. They'll pay $50 for a lesson for 1 hour, even if it's cheap, $30. 1,000 yen, $10. People will pay this, and so you can get yourself a living, a life, especially if you're attractive. If you're an attractive young man, you can, and if you haven't got a working visa, you can do this. But in the Philippines, they've got no fucking money, so you cannot get out. And my friend was stuck there for 1 year. And he said he'd never eat rice again in his life because that's all he had to eat every day, rice. And he met this English girl. And she bought him a ticket to come to Japan. How did he repay that? By fucking this slag. He met this slag at this fucking disco. He thinks he's looking like this. She's fucking hot. She's just a skank. And she comes home, finds him in bed. This is how he fucking repays her. Anyway, the joke's on him because he marries this skank and he has 2 kids, and she's just a lazy, dirty fucking skank. What a fucking idiot. If you're watching, Patrick, talking about you. I once went to his house. I was waiting for him, and I said, and he got a phone or something, because this is going back 32 years. And he says, go out of the house and go to a cafe. or bar or whatever, because he didn't trust me or didn't trust his wife. And I just intimated that I wouldn't fuck your wife. And he was a bit upset because I wouldn't fuck his wife. He's going, what's wrong with her? She's a skank. Oh, really? Yeah, I guess why the attractive Philippine. Well, my young friend in Pakistan, very smart guy. He got a scholarship for university, and he's been trying to get out of the country, but I guess they don't want young. He's a good-looking guy. He's tall as well. Maybe I should point him in that direction, Tim Hortons, and he speaks good English. Maybe I should mention that to him. But I just don't like the sound of the Southeast Asian accent. Oh, if I see Latinas or fucking Philippines, they're always on the fucking phone. Oh, really? They just seem to be obsessed with money. So tell me more about your sister and a guy in Cuba. Yeah, I don't know. Was it Philippines? Maybe they were saying, oh, it might be. No, it was India. Of course, it's India. Because the remissions from overseas, India is the #1. But if you can't, but like in the Philippines, you can live on £100 a month. And so did she manage to find a decent guy then? Yeah, I've seen some videos on Cuba. I'd like to. She'd be married to 3 different Cubans. Oh dear. Well, you don't have to get married to him, do you? Did she have any kids with him? Well, my wife, before she met me, she fancied Chinese people, Chinese men, but she said they didn't like her, as I predicted. How old is she now? But she was 5'7.5". So maybe they don't like a lot of Asians don't like tall women. I think tall women are great. She's 76. Oh, so you're not a young guy either. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not like when I used to play football for British Telecom, and now and again I get injured. And when you get injured, you go into an office and you do work on the internal work, filling out cards, updating cards, because it's a docket system. And they were telling me in there, a lot of engineers, what they do is once they get to like 50s, they go into the office and they do this work. It's like a senior technician, because they help the guys on the road with the fault solving. And they were saying that once they retired, they used to die in a few years because they had nothing to do. but that's changed now. And I was talking to an airline pilot once. He was in our quiz team, and he was saying the same thing happened, even in a totally different career. You know, a very high class career. Same thing, a very important job. They still died because they had nothing to do. So I've got to find myself. I've got to find myself something to do, like a Vietnamese girl. I'll be like a giant. Imagine me, because they're very small in Vietnam, I believe, and or they used to be. But you can imagine being like over 6 foot. You know, like my son is 6'4", but imagine being like 6 foot or over, and then meeting Vietnamese people. It's like fucking land of the giants. Is anyone going to take over from Mac? Baby, 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 if you love me like this. This song has been, because it's Celine Dion, you know, it's a great song. And I was looking on the internet last night, and there was a young girl. She was only 9 years old. And Simon Cruz, is that his name? He said to the young girl, he asked her what song she was singing, and she told him. He goes, "Why are you singing that song?" He says, "Because I've been practicing it." And she had a fantastic voice, 9 years old, unbelievable voice. This young girl, very cute, very lovely, you know. And she did, and I clicked onto her page, like, and she was doing this. She was doing this Celine Dion song. I think she got. I saw she got through to the semi-finals. I don't know where she went after that. Baby, baby. Well, I don't know how long cruise is going to be, but I've got to get off and go and get some bread. Whoever's there, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.